Yes. Well, currently there's a debate within the Democratic Party right now over why they underperformed in congressional elections. Some, including Majority Whip Clyburn, think phrases like defund the police gave Republicans too much fodder. And just yesterday, Marco Rubio told Georgia voters they have to save the Senate from socialist Democrats. Do you agree with Clyburn? Do you think Democrats need to be more disciplined and deliberate in their messaging?
I think you have to run the race where you are and you have to meet the people where you are. There are Democrats that are living in areas of the country where the conversations they are having may not resonate in other parts. I talk about translating progressive into Southern down in Georgia because I know that there are ways to have these conversations about healthcare, about the environmental changes that we need, about access to justice, about jobs. But there's a way you talk that's reflected in the people you're talking to. And so while I appreciate the concerns, I think we need to trust our candidates to know their communities and to have those conversations. We can't prognosticate what's going to work every time, but what we can do is react to the people we have and to the moment we're in. That's why I know Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock are going to talk about access to health care in a state that's facing a third surge of COVID. We're going to talk about access to jobs because we are having a K-shaped recovery where the wealthy are getting wealthier and the poor are getting poorer. And we're going to have a conversation about access to justice because in Georgia, Rayshard Brooks and Ahmaud Arbery both faced lack of justice, and those conversations must be had. But we know and we trust Jon and Raphael to have the conversations they need to have, reflecting the values of our communities, because they know that victory for Georgia means victory for the United States.
Yes. You know, I'm so glad that you finally got all of the accolades you did for all the work you did this year. You deserve it. But let me ask you this question, because we always said that how much we've appreciated your candor about wanting to be Biden's vice president. You came out, I believe it was on this show, you said it too. So in the spirit of that candor, which White House position are you interested in now, Stacey?
I am interested in making certain that Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock ensure that we have a country that we can help lead by having really good senators to work with President Joe Biden.
Okay, fine. But have you spoken to the Biden team about a possible role in the new administration? Come on. Come on.
I've spoken to the Biden team about how to win this election. I'm candid, but I'm also focused. One of the ways we were able to flip Georgia was because I've been working on it for 10 years. I had a deck that I put together in 2011, a PowerPoint presentation on a 10-year growth strategy from 2011 to 2020 for Georgia. I know that the work that we did across the country through Fair Fight 2020 made certain that we had enough states that flipped back, that we could work together to make certain that Joe Biden became president. And now I'm focused on getting the last piece across the finish line, and that is the U.S. Senate race on January 5th in Georgia.
Now, there are reports that President-elect Biden may appoint Republicans and progressives to key positions in his administration. Cindy McCain is on the transition team, and she spoke to us about that. Do you think that's a good move? Who do you want to see in a Biden White House?
I think Joe Biden knows what he's doing. He has gone through two of the toughest issues we're going to face, a healthcare crisis and an economic crisis. And he's going to put together the team that makes the most sense for him. In my book, Our Time Is Now, I talk about the fact that for progress to be made, we've got to meet each moment where it is, and we've got to build the teams we need to face those challenges. We did this work to ensure the election of Joe Biden because we trust that he knows how to lead, and I will leave it to him to decide who he needs in partnership to get this work done. I'll do my part making sure that we elect Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock.
Well, the cherry on top of this election for me was watching the late, great Congressman John Lewis's home district push Biden into the lead in Georgia, considering what a champion and a great man he was for voting rights in this country, and just as a legislator, he's just a great man. So, I mean, was it as significant for you when you saw that these were the folks that said, here's where we need to be, and made it happen?
I had the privilege of giving the sermon at Brown Memorial AME on the 55th anniversary of the march across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. And I got to speak to Congressman Lewis the night before and then stand with him on that bridge. He bridged the future for us, and his work is why we are where we are. This is a man who believed in justice, but he believed in every single person's value and their contribution. And any way that we can honor that, especially by delivering those votes that elected Joe Biden as the next president of the United States.
Yeah.
I am so honored to have ever gotten to know this man, this extraordinary, just tremendous person of courage, of confidence, and someone who believed in the light in every one of us.
I love it. Thank you, Stacey Abrams. You know, every time you come, it's like a breath of fresh air. And we want to tell people, for more information on the organization Fair Fight, you can visit our website and you can learn what you can do to help and how you can be an asset to the country and the community.